I need my fix of Glynis' waffle and pancake mix. Oh yeah.
Of explaining, your philosophy about
Mm-hmm.
cooking and where it came from and how you take the time, effort to care and put love into what you're doing, and that's completely evident. So I want to know too, though, everybody has their own interpretation of cooking, and sometimes that interpretation sets other people apart, especially from people
Mm-hmm.
who are also involved in the culinary arts. So what
Mm-hmm.
is it that sets you apart based on your own interpretation of cooking? What sets you apart from other people who love or they do things involving the culinary arts?
So, I love cooking and I love eating other people's food too. But let's go by let's go by what I've been told.
Okay.
There's always that common denominator. And everyone who comes here, who visits our home, or if I visit their home and prepare something for them, first of all, they say that I'm very descriptive, because if I'm cooking for you, I'm talking to you. So there's always going to be interaction.
Okay.
There's always going to be some love going on at the table. Not to sound like Nina Simone, but yeah, I keep the love going at the table. So it's sort of like I'm doing a show when I'm with you. And it could be just me and you in the room. But while I'm cooking, I'm talking, and I'm explaining to you why I'm putting certain ingredients in. So I think from the beginning, what sets me apart is that you feel that love from the very beginning, and then you see the time that I put into making that presentation just right.
Absolutely.
I mean, it could be just one steak. You come over and you say, I just want a steak. To have that one steak on the plate, it's not going to be just a steak. I mean, it's going to have some seasoning sprinkled on the outside. It might be something drizzled on the top. The table setting might be a certain way. I just enjoy making the presentation special.
It's an experience, isn't it?
Yeah, I like making it special. I want you to feel the love, not only for the food, but for the person who's preparing the food.
Yes. And, I think... Go ahead.
You go on. I was going to say, because our relationship with food is so important, too. How you enjoy your food is important. We don't really think about it, because a lot of people eat for nutrition. Some people eat for social reasons. Some people eat for religious reasons. So we all have different relationships with food. Some eat because they're depressed, or they're happy. So, with moods and emotions play a big role in it.
Absolutely.
And for me, I just want you to feel good when you eat my food. And maybe I think that could be the element that sets me apart from everyone, that I'm going to give you that star treatment with a down-home feel.
Oh, I love that. And, it's kind
That's
of like...
how I make everyone feel. Everyone feels like a star when they're around me,
right?
When they're with me, if they're in my home or if I'm in their home. Everyone is treated the same. Everybody's a star. You're all special. And I think that's what makes people feel good. I mean, how do you feel when you go into a restaurant and, and the waitress just takes your order and they just slam the water down and the food down and that's it? You don't really enjoy the meal, because you want to feel them. You want to feel that, the chef put some time into it. You want the plate to look pretty. You want to be able to pick up your phone and snap a shot of it and put it on the internet. So, so all that plays a good role, and I think that's what sets me apart. I'm sure there's other people that do the same thing, too, because my mom did it. My grandmother did it. They made me feel special. But I always feel like, well, you're getting some Glynis love, which is different than anybody else's love.
Yeah, that's right. I remember, growing up, my sister and I grew up with my parents both in the kitchen. They both were cooking and creating meals together, and we would have company over, have dinner parties, and everything was a beautiful experience, like you were describing, from the place settings to the way that the food came out and it was presented and everything was done with love. So I know that's a very important aspect to someone who is creative. And I was going to ask you, too, thinking about your creative space, and you kind of answered that a little bit with your cooking personality. Like, do you like to be, some cooks like to be alone in the kitchen and they like to do it all, and some don't mind when people are in there talking and helping out. And it sounds like you're more of, let me talk to you. Let me show you what's going on.
Right. I like for you to just sit down. I don't need you in the kitchen because I'm quick on my feet, so I'm all over the place. So unless I'm doing a dish that would require, chopping or some extra added prep, I'm doing all the work. And if you're a guest in my home, it's like, you sit down, just, as they said down south, just keep me company.
You know what I mean? Right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all I need for you to do. But we're on a show right now. I'm gonna explain everything to you, and I'm gonna talk to you in the whole bit. But I really prefer, even if I have a lot of people over, I don't like people in the kitchen with me. I want you to be fed. If I'm cooking, then you're going to be fed. Now, you may be asked to set the table. You can help to do that. But because I'm moving around so quickly and I'm doing 5 or 6 things at one time, I don't need to have the extra bodies.
Right. And plus you know exactly what you need to do anyway without having to tell anybody.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the most complicated dish that you prepared to date? And is there anything that you would like to try but just haven't got around to doing it yet?
One of the hardest dishes to prepare is creme brulee. Because when you add those eggs in to the cream, and it's warm when you're doing it, if the temperature is it has to be just right, or else you're going to end up with scrambled eggs.
Okay.
And that was one of the first dishes that I taught my son Brandon to make, and he makes it perfectly.
Oh, nice.
But, at the beginning, before I perfected it, it was like, okay, let's get this. I don't want it to look like curdled, milk, scrambled eggs. And so I found that one to be hard at first, to do. I'm trying to think,
And something that you may want to try.
Really, I'm trying to think of what foods that I would like to try. Probably Indian food. I haven't eaten a lot of Indian food.
Okay.
So that would probably be the cuisine that I would want to venture off into. Trying. Yeah.
Sounds good. I want to go back a little bit with the name, the nickname that you have, the Waffle Queen. Now, I see that a lot. I see the Waffle Queen, and I see your face and your beautiful pictures. So tell us about that name, that nickname, the Waffle Queen. Was it something that you decided to come up with yourself, or did somebody decide to give that to you?
Everyone started calling me the Waffle Queen
back
in the 90s.
Okay.
So here we've gone through the 70s in college, gone through the 80s having kids. So here we're in the 90s, and by this time, just about everyone who's in the music industry, all our friends who are actors and actresses and politicians and educators, they're all familiar with my waffles and pancakes and crepes, but most times they'll ask for waffles.
Okay.
So they started nicknaming me the Waffle Queen. Little did I know that it would become my name, America's Waffle Queen.
Right, okay.
At my launch last year, we had several buyers that attended the party and some folks that were marketeers for big companies like, Frito-Lay and that kind of thing. Okay. So my coattail was pulled. And one of the young ladies said, you might be making history right now. And I said, in what way? And I go, well, do you know the story of Ain't Your Mama? I didn't know the story of Ain't Your Mama. I was very embarrassed by it because I didn't know.
Okay.
Other than Ain't Your Mama being a black woman on the cover of a pancake mix and syrup.
Okay.
So the topic kept coming up and coming up. So I finally said, let me sit down and figure out why are they doing this? Why are people coming to me with this? And found out later that Ain't Your Mama is a fictional character. It's a name that was made up, a phrase. Ain't Your Mama she was a slave, Nancy Green, that was chosen to pose for the cover of a milling company's waffle mix, pancake mix. And later, of course, Quaker took over the trademark and did syrup too. But 128 years later, here is Glynis Albright, a real person,
right?
Black-owned business woman, and I have my likeness on the cover of Waffle Mix. And so I have made history in being that person, to be a real person on the front of a Waffle Mix. And because Aunt Jemima is known as the Pancake Queen, the other title for me would be America's Waffle Queen.
That's right.
So
I love that story.
I'm still pinching myself. Just never knew that 1893 Aunt Jemima's pancake flour mix was introduced to the States. And here we are in 2018. Glynis Albright comes out with her own, waffle mix and caramel spice syrup. And also to add the syrup in, Ms. Butterworth is also not a woman of color. But back in those days, in the 1800s, it was part of a marketing tactic to put blacks on the cover of different products, various products. And it was common for us to be portrayed in a certain way, like a butler or a maid or, that kind of thing, blackface, red lips, and the whole bit.
Right.
Times have changed. Yes. So it's just been just crazy for me to think, wow, is this my part of my destiny to have this title 128 years later? This was, saved for me. So I'm still trying to get over the whole America's, Waffle Queen. It's exciting, and I will be touring the country for the next couple of years as America's Waffle Queen. And what we're going to do is we're going to be setting up Glynis's kitchens, a pop-up kitchen all over the country.
Okay.
And we've already done 3. And the last one we did was in Reading, Pennsylvania, inside of the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel.
Okay.
And they took their library and converted it into a pop-up kitchen, and they called it Glynis's Kitchen. And we served Glynis's buttermilk fried chicken and light and crispy waffles.
Wow.
So I'm
just
just excited.
With that.
Very excited, because I was a little embarrassed because I didn't know the history, of Aunt Jemima, and I didn't know about who Mrs. Butterworth were. I assumed that Mrs. Butterworth was a black woman. Again, the brown syrup going into a clear bottle shaped like a maid.
Right.
The mind, again, you just automatically think, oh, this is a black product.
Let
me pick it up. We purchased products because we related to it. That was the reason why I reached for Aunt Jemima's pancake mix and the syrup, because I figured, black folks know how to cook. She must be from the South. Let me get this product. It has to be good, kind of thing. I never thought in a million years that